Would you like to see exactly how I drafted this double-breasted shawl collar jacket? Watch this video to the end and learn the entire drafting process. If you also like to see the sewing process, kindly drop your comments. Welcome. Welcome to another interesting tutorial, dear creatives. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you exactly how I made this beautiful shawl collar double-breasted jacket. Okay. So for this particular jacket, it was a long gown, but I'll be showing you with a full scale bodice, right? Because of the length of my pattern paper. But note that you can actually decide on your length, right? So the first thing you want to do, you determine your shoulder line and then you start drafting. So this edge of the paper will serve as my shoulder line. So from this edge, I will be marking my neckline, okay, my neck width and my neck depth. As you can see, I have marked 1 inch for my neck depth and 3 inches for my neck width. This is actually the back I am drafting. So you need to draft the back first for the process to be easy, right? So I plan on drafting the back first. Now I'm inserting my shoulder width divided by 2. That is, my shoulder width is actually 15, but for a jacket I am using 16 divided by 2, 8. I have marked 8, and then after marking that 8, shoulder width divided by 2, I've also marked my armhole depth, which is 8.5, and I am also inserting my shoulder width divided by 2 on that armhole depth point. Okay, now to get your armhole depth, you need to divide your bust circumference by 6, then add 1.5 plus your shoulder slope. So my bust circumference is 36 inches. 36 divided by 2 by 6 gives me 6, plus 1.5 gives me 7.5, plus 1 inch for the shoulder slope gives me 8.5. So from this shoulder to this depth is 8.5. Can you see? 8.5. So I will mark my chest line on this point. I'm simply inserting now. So here is my chest line. Okay. So as you can see, I also have my, let me just label first. Here is my chest line. Okay. So I'm sure you got how I got this chest line. So the next thing I want to do, I'll slope my shoulder by 1 inch. Okay, remember this is the back. After marking 1 inch on that shoulder line, on that armhole line, I am linking it back to the neck point. So we have our shoulder beautifully sloped. The next thing we want to do, we want to curve the armhole. So I am dividing from that sloped point to the chest line. I'm dividing it into 2 to get the point I'll be curving. So from that point, I'll go in by ½ an inch. I have done that. So this is the back. So I actually went in by ½ an inch for the back. Note that. Then I have inserted my bust circumference divided by 4 on my chest line too. My bust circumference is 36 divided by 4 gives 9. I marked 9 here, and then I'll be linking from this point to this point and then to the shoulder. Can you see? This is our armhole curve for the back, beautifully curved out. So the next thing I want to do, I want to mark out my back half length, which is 15 inches. On this part, let me confirm what I just marked. That is it. I've confirmed it. And then on this side, I'll also mark out in order for me to get a straight line. Okay. So after marking, I am linking the 2 points. Now I have my waistline. Okay. That is my back half length. From this back half length, I'll be going down by 11 inches. Okay, that will be the length of the jacket I am drafting. I'm going down by 11 inches. I have also marked, and I will be linking the 2 points also to get a straight line. Next, I'll be inserting my waist circumference measurement divided by 4. My waist circumference is 28 divided by 4 gives me 7. So I'll be marking 7 inches here. Then I'll add 1 inch, which I'll be using for my darts. Okay, I have marked 1 inch here. So I'll be linking from this 1 inch point to my chest line like this with a little bit of a curvy ruler. Now, after doing that, I'll come to my M line and insert my hip circumference measurement divided by 4, which is 42 divided by 4, 10.5. I have marked. From that point, I've gone up by 2 inches. Can you see? Then I'll use my hip curve to curve out that point nicely. Have you seen? So that is it. The next thing I want to do is to mark out my dart point. So to do that, I'll be dividing my waistline, can you see, into 2 like this. I'm tracing the midpoint now. Can you see? So I have divided it into 2. This is the point where I'll be inserting my dart, right? So I'm doing a dart intake of 1/2 inch on both sides. I have marked out. So I'll also come upward. I'll go down from the chest line by 1 inch. I've done that also. Now that measurement, I'm also bringing it upward so as to have a straight line. Now I'll rule my straight line like this and then bring forward the dart intake of 1/2 inch too. Can you see? So I have created my dart also. Then I'll go to the M line and insert that same measurement, the point at which I got the dart line. Okay, I'm trying to insert it there. Can you see? That means I'm going down again, extending the dart downward. Can you see? And then from this point, from the M line, I'll go up by 3 inches. Okay, I have marked 3 inches and I'll be linking it back to the waistline like this. Beautifully. Okay, so our dart has been beautifully created. Now I'll also, for this dart, I want a princess dart coming from the shoulder. So I'm dividing the shoulder into 2. Then I'll be extending the dart leg also to that point. Just watch me. Can you see? I've done that. Now our back is complete, but we need to do our back tightening. This is optional for a blazer, but I just like doing that. So I'm tightening the back by 1/2 inch for the back to relax nicely. Then I'm going up from this point by 3 inches to link. Just watch me. So I'll link these points to the tightened part of the back, and then from this waistline I'm taking it to the neck line like this. Okay, so this is when you want your jacket to be a little bit fitted on your body, but if it's just a blazer you are doing, this might not be necessary, right? So having done this, we'll cut out the pattern without separating the dart for now. Okay, so just watch me as I cut out the pattern. And here our back pattern is ready, right? But I want to do a little bit of alteration in the M line. So from this M, I'm going up by about 1.5 to 2 inches and mark. For me, I'm marking just 1.5, and then I'll use my curved ruler to shape it into the M line beautifully, just to have a nice shape. Okay, just watch me. This is also optional. It is not compulsory or rigid. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, so now I'll just trim off beautifully, cut it out, and then we are done with our back. Next, we'll be cutting out the front using the back as a guide. It's after cutting out the front, we'll open up the darts. Okay, for now, the darts will just remain intact while we'll go ahead and work on the front. As you can see here, I have placed my back pattern on another pattern paper. Now I am measuring from this part, from the center back area, you measure at least 4 inches. Then for the front area, you measure at least 6 to 7 inches. Okay, I think I did 6 inches here. So I'll keep the back aside and then mark out these points. From the upper part, you give a space of at least 6 inches. For the center side, you give at least a space of 4 inches. Remember, it's a double-breasted jacket. So I'm marking the points. I will draw a line there so that it guides us as we continue drafting. Okay, so this is the front side. From here is where I'll be inserting my shoulder line for the back. So after coming down by at least 6 inches from the edge of your pattern paper, you insert a line that will serve as your shoulder line for the front. Okay, so here we have gotten our shoulder line. Now, to get our button allowance and the double-breasted jacket, we are giving also a space of 4 inches, at least 4 inches on the center front. So I am also marking that 4 inches so I can trace, I can draw out a line there with my straight ruler. Okay, can you see? After marking the points, I'm here drawing out the line. So we have our shoulder line and our center front line now. Now you bring up your back pattern and align the shoulder to the shoulder points and then the center back to the center front line. Can you see? So this line must touch here and here, the shoulder line. Okay, so you make this to stay in place. You can either use a masking tape to tape it to stay, or you use metal iron to just hold it down, but just ensure the pattern doesn't move, right? So dear creatives, just get your tracing wheel and trace out the upper part of this pattern, just the upper part. Check what I'm doing. I'm tracing out the shoulder, I'm tracing out the armhole. For the shoulder, you know the back I sloped by 1 inch. For the front, I'll be sloping by 1.5. Okay, so we'll do that correction. However, for now, I'll just trace everything exactly the way they are first. Okay, so I am tracing. Here is the chest line. I'll trace the chest line, the armhole, and the chest alone. After tracing, I've taken the pattern paper, the back pattern out, and I'm redrawing the lines. Here is the chest line, and then for the shoulder slope, I'm sloping it first before connecting it. I'm seeing what I traced out. So from that point, I went down again by half an inch, right? Then I marked it out. So I have sloped the front by 1.5, of which the back was just sloped by 1 inch, right? Now for the neckline, I'm also redoing it. It's 3 by 3. You know, for the back, it was 1 by 3. 1 inch depth and 3 inches width. So for the front now, it is 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. After marking, I'm also ruling out a curved line there. Can you see? We have our neckline, our shoulder. Then for the armhole, we still need to readjust it. So I'll be coming up from the chest line by 3 inches. Then I go inwards by 3/4 of an inch. Can you see? I have marked 3 inches on that point. Then I'll be going inwards by 3/4. You know, for the back, I just went in by half an inch. Now for the front, it is 3/4. Okay, so I'm linking the points just like we did for the back. It's like repeating the entire process with a slight difference. Okay, so now we have our up intact. We'll now proceed to drafting the main body. Okay, so from the shoulder line, you mark your front half length now. So that's what I'm about to do. I'll mark the front half length. My front half length is 17 inches. Mind you, the back half length was 15. So you now see the difference. 17, I'll mark it on both sides so as for me to get a straight line. Okay, So after marking, I will link to get my waistline. From this waistline now, I'll be going down by 11 inches to get my hemline. You can remember how we did it for the back. So it's just like doing the same thing for the front, okay? Going down 11 inches and then I will link up to get my hemline. So we also have our hemline. So next I'll be inserting the waist circumference divided by 4. Then I'll add 1.5 inches for the darts. So 28 divided by 4 gives me 7 inches. Now I marked 7 and then added 1.5. So in all I have marked 8.5. Okay. So after that, I'm here inserting my bust span divided by 2 on the waistline, which is 7 divided by 2, 3.5. Then I'll move down to the hemline and mark 3.5 to then connect with a straight line. Can you see? So I have my dart leg. Next, I'm inserting my shoulder to nipple points, shoulder to bust measurements. Okay. So I'm marking it is 10 inches. I have marked it, shoulder to bust. We didn't need this for the back because there is no bust at the back. So after marking, I am linking also to have my bust line. So we have our bust line here. Now on the bust line, I'm also inserting the bust span divided by 2. That is nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 3.5, and I'm bringing this line also upwards. So we now have a straight dart leg. Okay, so let's do our dart intake. I'm marking 3/4 on each side. 3/4 plus 3/4 gives me 1.5. You remember the 1.5 we added back to the waistline earlier, so we have taken it out as a dart. So I have brought the dart forward to the bust line. The next thing I want to do, I will mark 3 inches from the hemline, 3 inches. I have marked that, and then I will link also to the waistline. Okay, so we have inserted our dart. Now I'll be linking the waistline to the chest line. Okay, to the bust and the chest line. Can you see? So I have linked, and then I'll also mark my hip circumference divided by 4, which is 42 divided by 4, 10.5. I'll mark 10.5 here, and then go up by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. I did 2. Then I link nicely. After linking, I'll also use my curved ruler, the hip curve area, to link it to the waistline. Can you see? So that also has been done. Now I'll go up from this point by 1.5, just like I did for the back. I'll mark, and then I use my beautiful curve to curve the hemline just to give it a beautiful shape. Okay, like I've mentioned already, this is not rigid or compulsory. You just do whatever you want. Okay, your creativity will guide you here. Now it is time for us to draft our lapel, our collar. It is a shawl collar jacket. So to do that, I'll first of all mark out my button allowance by marking 1 inch on the center front, and then I'll link nicely to get a straight line. Okay, this is just to guide you in the process. So here is our button allowance, okay, marked out. Then this point will be our break point, the waistline. Now we'll now measure the overlap. I'm using 3 inches for the overlap since it is a double-breasted jacket. Okay, so from the button allowance, I measure 3 inches. Okay, now I'm ruling it out on the neckline area. Can you see? So this will serve as our overlap. Now let's move over to our break point. Okay, here is the waistline, here is our bust line, here is our chest line. I'm marking it out clearly so that you will remember, and here the hem line. Okay, so after marking it, we'll come over to the break point. The waistline is the break point, so that means I will need to insert a line here. Here is the break point. Okay, so I'll be bringing this waistline forward. Can you see? So we have our break point. So next, from the break point, I will now just rule straight to the neck point. Just watch to the neck point on the shoulder. Can you see? So we have marked out our break points, okay, in the process of trying to draft out our shawl collar. So I'm here re-emphasizing the line. So the next thing we want to do is to mark out our back collar. Okay, to mark out the back collar, the collar that will go backwards, we need our back pattern. So on the back pattern, on the neckline of the back pattern, you just place your tape and measure round. You know, it is already curvy, so you place your tape according to the curvy shape and measure it. After measuring that, I have 4 inches. So is that 4 inches now that will form my back collar. So from this shoulder line, the neck point on the shoulder line, I'll mark 4 inches upwards according to the shape of the break point line. Okay, so I'm from here marking the 4 inches. I have marked, and then I'll use my straight ruler following this shape. Okay, following how this line is going. No, the line is not going straight, so I just follow this. Can you see? Then still, I'll also still make it more backwards by inserting half an inch on this point. Okay, so I'm now marking half an inch. So I'm still making it more backward to give room for the collar to sit nicely at the back neck. Okay, can you see? So I have done that. Very important. Now on your ruler, let's use the angle 90. Can you see the angle 90 shape? So this point will touch, this point here will touch this point here. So I have touched it, and our angle 90 shape has formed. You can see this part that is coming down here and this part that is going upwards. Okay, you just take the part that is going upward, you trace it and continue a line there. Now this line, the length of this line will be determined by the width of your collar. For example, the collar will be 2 inches when it is bent. Therefore, the line here should be 4 inches. Okay, so I have marked 4 inches and I'll rule it to that point. Can you see? Following that angle 90 shape. So this is where our collar will end. So from this point, since we have 4 inches here, we'll be dividing this our breakpoint line, okay, that bends upward into 4, so that we get a beautiful shawl collar. You can leave out this part and just rule your collar down, but for me, I like accuracy. So can you see? I'm dividing that line into 4. First, I divided into 2, and then this side into 2, this other side also into 2. So just watch what I'll be doing to get a nice shape for my shawl collar. So the first point I marked, I'll be marking 3/3. You know, the very up is 4 inches. Now 3/3. Then next 3.5. I keep reducing the inches. Here 3/3, 3/3 here, and then 3.5 here, 3.5 here. Then on the next line, I'll just mark 3 inches, 3 inches or 2.5. Okay, can you see? Now I'll join with a little bit of curvy part of the ruler. Okay, can you see? So this is in no particular order. It's just for me to get a beautifully shaped out shawl collar. Okay, can you see now? I'll just come from the break point now. Just rule it upwards. Just watch me. So your creativity will do more of the job here. Okay, you just allow your creativity to guide you. Now here is our shawl. Here is our shawl. Our pattern is almost ready. Okay, except for the cutting out, it's almost ready. Here is our shawl collar. Here is our break points. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is just to cut out the pattern. Okay, so just watch me as I cut out. Now, having cut out the pattern, the next thing is to insert further darts so that we will be able to cut out or separate the darts. Okay, here is our side front and here is our center front. So we'll be inserting or introducing our bust dart so that the back and front sides will be equal. But before then, I am marking out from the shoulder point to the bust points. From the mid shoulder, I divided the shoulder into two and linked to the bust point. So I'll cut this out. Okay, so after inserting the bust dart, I'll be able to close the bust dart. So now I will now be inserting the bust dart from the side. Okay, for the bust or side dart, I'll be using 2 inches for the dart intake because the front is 2 inches longer than the back. The front half length is 2 inches longer than the back. Can you see? So after inserting that, I brought it to the bust point and this will be out. So I'll continue cutting to separate the side front from the center front. Okay, so I have cut out. Now for the side, I'll first of all cut out the waist dart. Can you see? So I'm removing the waist dart. I've successfully removed it. Now I will close the bust dart. Okay, just watch me. I'll close it and just pin it down to keep it in place, right? Now that has also been done, so I'm here just blending out that sharp point by trimming it off so that there will be no sharp points by the time I'm transferring to fabric. Okay, so this is our front pattern. Can you see our shawl collar? So by the time we are done sewing, this is how the shawl collar will be. One beautiful thing about drafting is that you get to see the final results even before you start sewing. Can you see? So this is how the final result will look like. Okay, now here is our back pattern. Remember, we did not separate the dart before, so I'm still here cutting out the dart, separating the side back from the center back to get our panels. And here our patterns are all ready. We have our back and our front patterns beautifully drafted out. If you have enjoyed watching this tutorial or you have learned from this tutorial, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.